Welcome to the Bonnie Chambers podcast interview. Told you guys, I'm starting out right. I got to. Hey, Brandy. Yes, this weekend was a very big weekend for all of us. Aaliyah had finally graduated out of high school. So proud of her. But in the meantime, yes, I have Cyphersick from the south side of Chicago. Born and raised in a dirty low end. Hey, like I said, he was born and raised in the low end Chicago, which we call the dirty low 43rd. So I'm bringing you on right here, right now, Cypher Sick. Well, I can't see you. Oh, there we go. Hey, Brandy. Hello, everybody. Tune in. Make sure y'all. Hey, my brother.
Yo, Bonnie, what's up? What's the word?
Oh man, out and about in these trenches,
You
trying to
enjoying this
make
hot weather in the trenches?
88 degrees. What can we say?
Hey, we can say we actually got some heat in June this year. You know, you never know what it's gonna be in Chicago this time of year.
I know, right? And you know what? As crazy as it was, Saturday was my daughter's graduation. It was outdoor. Tell me, it was supposed to be 70 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
That wind took my legs away. I had on a dress. I said, oh no. And if you all would have heard it, I literally said, this wind is taking my legs away because that's what it was doing. My legs was frozen. By the time I had stood up and said congratulations to my daughter, my leg was frozen.
Frostbite in May. It's crazy.
Exactly. I couldn't move it around another day. But I wanted to ask you, you've been in the game for ever since you was 14 years old in the music industry.
That's correct. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while, like 20 years now. Aside from my hiatus that I took for a few years, yeah, I've been doing this since then.
And that's the question I wanted to ask you. What happened during the time you took that hiatus?
Well, basically, it was a lot of stuff going on in my life personally at the time, but that contributed to that decision. But I'd say the biggest thing that was happening was I was having like creative differences with the label I was with at the time, Dub Life Entertainment, which is an independent record label here in Chicago. And I had been with them since like 2007, I want to say. And this I probably left like a part of ways the label around 2000 and 2011, 2012, somewhere up in there.
Okay.
So after that, I was just I had had so many experiences that at that point that I felt were negative experiences, and that life was just kind of beating me down, to be totally honest. So I had to take a step back, reassess, get my mental where I wanted it to be. I never lost my passion for it, but I kind of like strayed away from it. I didn't really want anything to do with it because it was such a it was like a trigger for me at that time, and I didn't have the same control over my emotions as I do now. I didn't have the same knowledge I have about myself that I do now. So it was just a harder thing for me to deal with at that time. But looking back on it in hindsight, I feel like that all happened for a reason. That was God's plan, not mine. I couldn't have saw it at the time, but um, it was kind of good that I took that break and did what I did. Because now, in the present day, years later, you fast forward and you see what I'm doing now, and I'm more prepared for the different adversities that life has thrown at me or has thrown at me, and that's in and out the music game. So it was something that it was unfortunate, but I think it was necessary. It had to happen. So
Wow, because I sure was wondering that, when I had to reread your whole bio, like when they said that you had to take a hiatus, I'm like, wow, you started at the age of 14.
yeah,
You got your contract at the age of 16. And I'm like, wow, but like you say, you had to take that hiatus. And was it for a good thing and for a bad thing? Ask the question before I even could get it. You say, yeah, it was a good thing for you. And I'm super proud of you. Like, Let me ask you this question right quick. Because I noticed that you have an album called What the World in a Hamstring Lady. If you hit my car, Jesus gonna ask questions later. I'm sorry.
These people out here crazy in these cars. I already know.
Oh, she was so close to hitting my car. But my question to you, I want you to name me two of your best that have your best interest of your album. It's either Bounce, Radio Bounce, or Life to the City. Give me your best ones that you have. That you like to roll with, ride around in your motorcycle. Give me, you know,
So like
that.
two of my best songs to ride to. Is that what you asking about?
Yeah,
Two of my best songs to ride to. One, I mean, you can ride to Radio Bounce, but that's not really what that record is for. Like that record is more so tailored for like the club and the party scene and the radio.
right.
Uh, but like as far as like what I consider real riding music that I've created, I would say I'm gonna say City Life for sure. City Life off of the single off my EP. Well, not my EP, my album 43rd. That's definitely music you can ride to. But outside of that, I would say. Honestly, it's a lot of songs on 43rd you can ride to. I was just in that bag on that one. But if I had to pick another one off top for sure, like 100%, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say City Life, and I'm gonna say Rancid Blunts off of 43rd as well, because I know a lot of people who I've actually been outside multiple times in random places in the city, and people will see me and they'll recognize me and they'll turn it on and they caught with the sound. So I'm gonna say Rancid Blunts and City Life.
Okay. And that's a good one too, because I listen to it all the time in my car, and people like, who she know, you know. But
Thank you. I appreciate that.
you know, we got to. But I feel like this here, even though you made it to the top 100 of the Bizarre Internet Radio, congratulations on that too
Thank
as
you.
well.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, you're doing big things out here. Even though you may not be in Chicago all the time, and I seen you was in Tampa, Miami, Florida, and I noticed that you in Miami, Florida, and everything, doing the biggest thing out there.
Yeah,
I want to say salute to you too. And of course, we
appreciate
got to
that.
do a part two of this. My daughter just came in. How you doing? The
Hey, how
graduate.
you?
She looked like.
Congratulations on your graduation too.
Thank you. Yes. I'm
Well,
sorry. I didn't disturb y'all podcast.
no, you're okay. You're totally fine. Family
But yeah,
first, always. You know what I'm talking about?
respectfully.
Yep.
Yeah. So we out here. She had to go. Her brother got a gift for her. He couldn't make it to her graduation, but he did make it to her prom send off, which he had to leave because he had to go to work and she was late. So, but
Hey, the grind don't stop, but it's the thought and the love that count. But the grind don't stop, man.
well, I'm at right now, and this is my season 4 here, and I just made it to season 4.
Hey,
It was hard.
congratulations on 3 seasons before this, and many more after it.
Thank you. Because I told a lot of people, hey, you know what? I got something big coming up. I got all of my Chicago people coming together, and one thing for certain, two things for sure. You did a song with Miss Nanette featuring with her song,
Yeah, that's my
man.
dog. You know, that's my Nanette. That's my good friend, man. I got a lot of love for her, man. That's my homie.
Man, y'all made a panty dropping song. I had to say it like that.
Hey,
But
look.
her voice,
The funny thing is that song wasn't even designed to be one of those. But I mean, I love when you got one plan for your record and it kind of like you succeed in that, but then it takes on another life too. Like people start to gravitate to that song for other reasons aside from what your plan was. So like when we put that out, we just wanted to create something that kind of gave people a look into the window of what a lot of relationships tend to be like. Because you hear all these conversations on social media and different platforms, people talking about toxicity and toxic relationships. I say most relationships have toxicity in them because we human beings. So it was kind of like just realizing what it is that your toxic traits are, and then trying to curve them and work on them. So that song was basically just showing, a man from a man and a woman's perspective, what the toxicity can be, what can cause it, and what it can turn into. And it's all centered around the same thing. It's all centered around, like, love can blind people, just like hate can blind people. That's why I have that first line in my verse of that song. I say, I'm blinded by this love, blinded by my hate. Like, because it's the same thing. Like love and hate are literally opposites of the same coin. They're two sides of the same coin. So, and we all experience that, especially when we dealing with, somebody that we dealing with romantically.
Yes, exactly. And let me ask you something. Are you planning? I don't want to put the rabbit out the hat,
You
but
good.
I wanted to know: are you doing any more features with any mainstream Chicago artists? Like,
Mainstream Chicago artists.
I'm
Well,
talking,
recently, I don't know if you knew this, Barney. You might have known this, but just in case you didn't, I recently was on this album with this producer called Bad the Producer. It's called Hip Hop Days and Boogie Nights. It's out on all platforms.
yes.
And one of the records I'm on that project, it's called Rap Religion, and it's featuring Chicago legend Nuisance, from Psychodrama. So she's somebody I grew up listening to. Psychodrama, somebody who I done had a relationship with since I was younger, doing this since 14, 15, 16. I've been knowing them. So it was a pleasure to have the opportunity to share a record with her. Like, and I was featured on that record more than she was, and she was even blown away by what I did. So that was a pleasure. So that's out everywhere right now. So I got a Chicago legend collab on that, and then Realest Alive, which is the first single that's out on my new project that hasn't dropped yet, My Time 3. That's featuring Chicago legend Vic Spencer. So that video is out now as well on YouTube, for Realest Alive, and that album will be dropping soon. But those are the only major Chicago artists or mainstream Chicago artists features that I have in the pipeline right now. But I get calls every day to do something else, so anything could happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because I know Psychodrama do with that, Twister, all of them.
Yep, yep. All Chicago legends. I grew up listening to all of them. So they all, like, big inspirations. So it's a
That's,
pleasure to be in the same conversation, or let alone on the same song with them.
I know. Now, give me a best advice for the youth, as we call it, the YNs, but we're
Yeah.
not going to call it YNs today
Hey,
because
I
my
ain't gonna lie. Like, somebody else asked me this recently. Like, literally, I had the same question not too long ago. The best advice I can give, and I say this like as young people who are trying to be artists, or just trying to be whatever you're trying to be in life. You have to always remain a student to the game. Whatever game you in, whether it's corporate America, whether it's the music game and the art performing arts, whatever it is that you are trying to build something off of, you have to always remain a student. No matter how much you learn or how much you think you know, there's always someone who knows just a little bit more, and you want to be able to be in the room with people who are smarter than you in that space or more experienced than you in that space, so you can learn from them. Because if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And that's something that I didn't necessarily. I think I might have kind of guessed that when I was younger, but I didn't really know it. Like, I didn't have like a solidified proof that, oh yeah, this is exactly how it is. But now, after living all these, being blessed to live as long as I've lived, which I didn't think I would, I can honestly say that's one of the best things that I've learned. I would always tell anybody that's younger than me that, like, yeah, always remain a student to the game. I don't care if you do this, if you do something and you become so good at it, you just super talented, and you've been doing it for 10 years. There's always somebody who's been doing it for 10 more, or 2 more, or 3 more, and they know something a little bit more than you. So always be learning, remain teachable, and just stay a student to the game.
you heard that, right, Leah? Okay. Because me and my daughter, we just talked about that. We were just talking about that. Now, before we go, and this is another quiz, a little quiz I would like to do for you.
Okay.
We speak about life,
hmm
and we speak about hip hop. Tell me your truth and the meaning of real hip hop.
My truth, as far as the meaning of real hip hop, me personally, I feel like hip hop is life. Like I said this when we were doing the like documentary for the album Hip Hop Days and Boogie Nights. Like hip hop, like a lot of people say this and it might sound cliche now, but it's the truth for me. My truth is hip hop did save my life because there's a lot of situations that I was into just growing up, like you say, on the dirty low, growing up down in the 40s, where I didn't think I would, like I said, I didn't think I would live to be the age I am now. I actually woke up every day thinking that that was going to be my last day every day. So to have survived all of that, I think a big part of it was God putting hip hop in my life because a lot of the times that I would spend like on the block with the guys or in the trap, that turned around to me being in the studio all that time. And it even got to the point where people in the hood saw how serious I was, and they were starting to tell me to go to the studio. They was starting to trying to keep me away from the streets and keep me away from like a lot of activities. They like, we know you with it, we know you'll get down, but we don't want you to. You got a future in this music thing. And so like, so even people in the hood who didn't see a future in themselves, they saw a future for me. So I feel like that's not a coincidence. So I think that the true meaning of hip hop is hip hop is life. Like everything that we put in hip hop is a reflection of what we see in real life. Whether you're talking about dance music, street music, trap music, it don't matter what sub genre of hip hop we're referring to. All of it reflects some aspect of the real world and the life that we live. Especially those that live in the in the hood, in the urban communities and stuff like that, and live under the deficit and live, where people are poor at. So we can connect and relate to a lot of different people in different places. Like I'm from Chicago, and it's people on the East Coast that resonate with me. It's people down south in Miami and Texas that resonate with me because even though we're not from the same environment, we're from a similar environment that has the same problems. So that's what hip hop means to me. It's just a reflection of life. Hip hop is a mirror reflecting what we see every day and what we choose to do with that image when we see it. That's what matters the most. So I choose to use my platform for positivity as much as possible and inspiring people and motivating people who used to think how I used to think, like, yo, I'm not gonna make it. I want you to know that you can make it no matter what you face. There'll always be a brighter day. It don't matter how dark you get. So
Yeah.
that's what hip hop means to me.
I got a question.
What's the question?
Okay, so for people that just getting started with not making music, but like trying to expand their platform and expand, getting fans and people that understand their music, and like you were saying, that understand what they've been through, or just want to listen to their music, like how do you think they should start off, or yeah, start off to get fans, or
Well, you know what? It's a couple different ways I recommend starting. One of them for sure is you got to be outside, like at some point. So the internet is a powerful tool, so you always want to use the internet to your advantage. Facebook, Instagram, these social media platforms we know mostly everybody's on, so you want to make sure you take advantage of that. Network with people. How we on Instagram Live right now? There was like a whole year where all I did was start following people who were also doing what I was doing, music or producing or entertainment. I started following those people, and then when they would go live, I would jump in their lives and jump in the comments and start networking with them from the comments. And then they would start staying in contact with me, bringing me up on the live like how I am here. And I got a lot of followers from that. Like a lot of people who tuned into their lives saw me and what we were talking about, and they started following me. So that's one thing you can do. But the other thing I said before, you definitely want to be outside at the events where there are people like that at. So whether it's like a show, open mic, a festival, anything, any type of event that you can get to where there are other people that are like minded, that's into the same things that you're into. You want to be in those rooms because that's how you're gonna connect with people who they have the same idea and they have the same passions that you have, or they might just be looking for something, and you might be the person to inspire them and give them what they're looking for, or motivate them to step out on whatever their dreams are. So put yourself in those rooms outside and make connections with the community, but also work the online Instagram, Facebook, find other people that's your peers in the music space or entertainment or whatever it is you do, and just make sure you start building relationships with people.
okay, yeah, it was helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. No, because that's all I do. That's literally what I do. Like that's what I've been. I came back to music 3 years ago now, and that's nonstop what I've been doing. So all the stuff Body has seen me do has been based off me doing that. Because when I first came back outside, I didn't really know nobody at this point because I was gone for so long. I only knew like maybe 5 or 6 artists, couple DJs I remembered, but I didn't really I didn't have the network I have now. I built all that up in 3 years doing exactly what I just told you.
Yep. He sure did. That's why we go to bartenders, and I met him there, and then I went on Shot Bliss to morning
Morning
jump off, and
jump off. Yep.
so that's how I met him again. So when we communicate, like I had you to go up there with me, she refused to go with me to Dalton because she could have met
Oh,
everybody,
when you came up to Italian Fiesta that day, we was up there.
and she didn't want to come because she's like, "No, Mama, I know you want to get your podcast going on.
You could have
No."
came up there. We would have got you some free pizza and everything.
See, I didn't know that. I thought I didn't know where we was going.
See, I never tell her because I always wanted to be a surprise for
Ah,
her.
okay. So you ain't giving the details. Okay, got you. Okay,
Shot Bliss was going to be there, but she was like, "Mom,
right.
I met Shot Bliss already." I said, "It ain't no telling who else you may have seen or known.
No, for sure.
But,
Well, make sure when you got some time, definitely come see us. Definitely come just come experience what it is we do. Because like I said, a lot of times too, just even if you don't talk to nobody, if you just sit there and watch, you can learn a lot just from being in the room and watching what's going on. I promise you.
exactly. And we live it and we learn it, and that's how we learn from each other. Go to
And
me,
we got to
store.
keep doing it too. We got to keep doing it because it's something new every day. I learn something new in this game every day. I promise you. It as much as I have learned, I'm like, man, it's so much I don't know. So I'm just always trying to figure out what else can I do better. What am I doing really good, and how can I, be more creative with what I'm doing good to increase my views. I'm always thinking about stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's how one thing I had learned too. Like being around with all of you all, I learned how to keep calm.
Thank you, thank
yeah,
you.
I learned how to keep calm. Like I know it's hard to keep your emotions together,
yeah,
but I have to remember positive mind, positive energy. Don't let nobody take your joy away from you.
yeah. Protect
I
your
always
peace at
say
all
that,
costs.
and that's I always say, and even when at her prom send off, of course, I had Do or Die and Donsky there
Yeah,
and Do or Die performance for her and everything. And I had to keep my composure because she was 2 hours late.
she 2 hours later. She was getting ready. She was still getting ready.
Her hair,
Okay,
her hair.
I
I
knew it
told
was
her, I said,
something. I knew it had to be one of them. I went on prom before, so I know how it be. I
it
was
was the
fortunate.
hair. My cousin flew from Minnesota.
Uh huh.
Strike number one, you're from the South Side of Chicago. We don't take O'Hare Airport.
Not
We
enough.
only
Not
take.
the only time I fly from O'Hare is when I can't get a flight that's gonna get me to where I'm going in time. Because that has happened to me before. Usually I wouldn't take O'Hare, but the times I do is when it's like, man, that flight from me away ain't gonna get me there in time. But this one will, so I just be like, I got to do what I got to do. But you're right. If we got a choice, we definitely don't go to O'Hare if we got a choice.
Yes, and that's one thing for certain, two things for sure. But it was okay because she got there at 4 o'clock, and I made it a way for her to go ahead and you know do her hair at the prom send off.
Right.
What the whole event was for. We could have just tell them like, okay, we getting the prom send off together. She's gonna get dressed there. She getting her hair done there. I had 6 people willing to do her hair,
Right.
but my cousin was like, "Nah, we're gonna do it here." And I had told my mother, and now this is what the biggest show taker. I had to do the show taker.
Right.
Now she gonna get dressed here and stop calling my phone.
What's all that for?
So that's when my composure come in. And I had to think about what would Donsky do, what would AK do, what would B-Lo would
Yeah.
do, what everybody came to my mind like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna smile this off. I'm gonna cry later, but I'm gonna smile it off, pull it off, tell everybody, go have a seat, go sit down, please, take a seat, do whatever, take a cigarette
Yeah.
smoke, whatever you do,
Whatever
go
you
do
got to do.
it. Because, there's no ins, no outs, nobody can hang around in the front. We're about to go ahead and get started. Everything was on point. All the way up to the part where my son didn't do the fireworks. She was late. And the killer part was AK and Beto, they were late. So I didn't worry about it. I laughed it off, then I cried it later. So it was like, wow, hey, everything happened for a reason. The storm hit. My mom was like, I ain't going nowhere with the storm. Because, it was the sandstorm that day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was coming from downtown when that happened. I remember.
Everybody. I said I kept my composure because I said, nope, positive mind, positive energy. Nobody taking my joy away from
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
No.
I always, you probably heard me say it before, but you always hear me say it. Protect your peace at all costs, because a lot of times in situations, especially like situations like this, that's a special day. That's a big day. Everything you want it to go right for her. You want the memories and everything to be good. And it's like, that's a lot of pressure on us. And then the universe sometimes just throw curveballs to see what we going to do, just to test us. So it's like, man, we got to always remember to just take a breath sometimes, just because it's okay for us to feel like that. I always tell people, it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm a big mental health advocate. Been in therapy for 5.5 years, and I always tell people that we're human beings. We're gonna feel like that. Like, we're gonna be frustrated, flustered, upset, sad. Like you say, you're gonna want to cry. All of that stuff is normal. So once we acknowledge that it's okay to feel like that, we just gotta know how to manage it. And like, I think you did good. You said I'm gonna cry later, but I'm gonna keep it together right now, and that's okay. If you still gotta cry it out later, totally normal. But just maintain your composure in the moment. Don't let nobody, like you say, steal your joy or take your peace away. It's okay to cry. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the world, we feel better when it's done, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And then I felt a whole lot better.
I
I
know you
said my
did.
money didn't go to waste.
No, and that's gonna always make me happy if my money didn't go to waste. You feel me?
Right. So that's the one big thing. Because, that night before the tent blew, you also have, remember I told you it was going to be a tent there. And you was like, a tent? Why that storm hit the tent and bent the tent up?
Damn. Uh, well, that's the weather
Jesus.
for you. We can't control. We can't control the elements, especially not up here in Chicago. We can't control the elements. All we could do is try to roll with it. You know what I'm saying?
She prayed so hard. I said, Leah, it's time to pray because we can't get no further.
Hey,
We can't get no further. And Leah, Cypher was one of the guys that was supposed to came up there and see you, but he had to leave too.
Oh, it's okay.
I'll definitely make it up to you, Leah. I'm outside. Bonnie tell you, your mama tell you, I'm always somewhere. So I'm pretty sure I'll run into you at some point.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
No
Yeah, so
problem, no problem.
in Tennessee, is it Jackson, Tennessee at Lang HBCU? That's where she going.
Okay, that's dope. That's super dope.
Right. If you all doing any specials there, hit me up. I hit Leah
I,
up,
w- I would love to. That's one thing I want to do with the touring that I've been doing. Is switch up some of the settings on some of the places I'm performing when I'm on tour. Because I always do like, big clubs and other venues like that. But I want to do like college shows and go to some of the HBCUs and rock out. So that would be dope. That's something I'm highly interested in doing. Because one of my first shows back in the day was at Columbia College up here. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So yeah, that was one
Columbia.
of my first shows was up there. And that
So
was a crazy. Now that I think about it, thinking back on that, that was a crazy show. It was probably like at least 500 people in that building. Nobody. That was probably one of the first big crowds I performed in front of too when I first started.
what kind of showcase was it? What was the
It was
name of the
what
showcase?
well, Columbia College does like different showcases for underground and independent artists in the city. Like because they even still do stuff like that now. It was just there was a guy I was connected with at the time. His name was Reginald Scott, but his industry name was Quest, and he was my agent at the time. So I had an agent before. That's how I ended up getting signed with Dub Life, was through him. So when I got the agent, he also was giving me a couple other bookings as well, and one of those was that show at Columbia College. And yeah, they still do stuff like that to this day. I forgot who's in charge of it. I'll have to look it up, but they literally still have events like that to this day. And that was like almost 15 years ago. So they still doing it to this day for artists in this up and coming scene now.
Okay, well, you know what? Aaliyah will probably give you all the info and details because she's also following you too, right, Aaliyah? Cyphersick.
If not, she can follow me right now.
You better.
Say, go ahead, click on your mama live and just follow that other person that's in the box.
My phone's just dead. Just literally.
Well, she do got a black screen, so it's cool. We gonna get you situated once you get some juice. We gonna get you taken care of.
Yes. And and like I said, thank you, Cypher, my brother. You are my brother for life.
I
Once we in
appreciate you. Thank you.
circle, we keep a small circle because we can't trust nobody. And
Yeah,
we always say that, positive mind, positive energy, protect your brand
yeah, for sure.
no matter what. Your
Absolutely.
brand
Yeah.
is your character, and your character is your brand. So we gotta keep it. I'm about to get a shirt that made like that. So
Hey,
nobody can.
you ain't wrong. That's a positive affirmation. I love having positive affirmations on shirts. So that's something that need to go on the shirt. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah,
On the real.
you have that positive mind, positive energy. Don't let nobody take your joy away from you.
Facts, though.
Your name is your brand, and your brand is your name.
Facts.
We gotta protect that. We gotta protect each other energy. Even though it's hot and a monster out here, it's 88 degrees on my thermometer.
Yep, it's definitely 88 over here too.
So I would like to say thank you. Any words, last words?
Thank you. Yes, I love your character. I just only met you for a few minutes and spoke with you for a few minutes, but I love how you present yourself well as a human and as an artist. Like you place both sides, and I appreciate that. Like
Thank you
yes.
so much, Lee. I really do appreciate that. I do my best to keep it that way. Thank you.
And tell the people in the world, how can they find you?
Y'all can follow me everywhere, CYPHERSICK, or you can check out my website, which is www.cyphersick.com. Or, like I always say, you can catch me live in the streets. I'm outside. I ain't hard to find. You're going to see Sicko on one of my shirts somewhere. Catch me outside.
I know that's right. And Cypher, again, thank you. It's an honor to meet you. We met before, but now here we are on my podcast talking about it. And y'all stay tuned because I have Jesse Parks tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's my boy. Salute to Jesse Parks, man. Salute to the legend. And like I said, we locked in, Bonnie. Anytime I'm free and you want me to come on, just let me know and we'll make it happen. I always make time for my people. So even if I am busy, I can try to move something around and make it happen for you.
Thank you. Thank you once again. I keep that in mind because I know right now we're going to have to do a part 2 and a 3 because I want to
Okay.
get you and Jesse Parks, together, and I may get some details about an artist from here in Chicago, but I cannot say anything about it because they are making a book about what it's a book already out.
Okay.
It's a book already out, but now it's about to be a movie about them.
Oh,
So
that's
y'all
dope.
stay. I can't wait till the movie come out. They don't want me to say anything about it, but only thing I could say is stay tuned.
Okay. I'm tuned in. I'm locked in. Like I say, just holler at me and let me know. I'll see you soon.
Yes, and I will see you guys soon. Bye bye.
Yeah.
We miss you, love you, and yes, all that other good
All the
stuff.
love. I receive all that love. Thank y'all so much.
And welcome to now season 4 of the Body Chambers podcast. We made it, guys. We made
Yes, sir.
it. Yes. Alrighty. We see you guys later. Love
Love
ya.
y'all. Peace.